since we never get into an argument.
Never.
Right, it never happens.
Okay.
It's like once a year.
Well, see, that's pretty good.
I would have said less, but okay.
That's pretty good. There'll be something to come as the years go by.
I might be kidding.
The whole secret is you get in the last two words. Yes, dear.
I like you. I
That's
knew
the
I liked you for a
That's the
reason.
secret. Okay, now when I'm handling her, avoid eye contact with her. And so this is why I have a full attention. Briggs, come here, kid. Good girl. Now, anytime she does what I want, I say good girl, and I'm giving her her treat. We don't do this. We don't have her sit for us, give her the treat, and then say, what a good girl. That's wrong if you're doing that. Or if anybody told you that, that's wrong. We want good girl to be a condition reinforcer, a bridge to the primary treat. Eventually, good girl is going to work by itself with a petting, okay? Let me give you another analogy. If you play the slot machine, right, and you're over the sun, you hear ding, 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 how do you feel?
Happy.
Because
You know that means you're going to be getting money.
that's right, that you're going to get some coin or the ticket or whatever, okay? Now, if you're playing the slot machine and all of a sudden 40 quarters come out, and then you hear ding, ding, ding. Will the ding, ding, ding make you happy? No. So same thing here with the dog. We have the dog, good girl, and then we give her her treat or her pet. But, so we want good girl to start having power, just like ding, ding, ding. Okay, at least in your machine, you hear them all over the place, it doesn't matter. Okay? But we must stop using good girl, good job as a term of endearment. Throw that away. Do not use it anymore. The only time you use it is when she gives you good behavior. That's the only time you use it, okay? No other time. And don't walk by and say you're such a good girl because she has no idea what you're talking about. Dogs don't have a sense of self. Okay, man does, primates do, elephants do, marine mammals do, but not dogs. They're I don't know, lower level. Okay, so she'd have to have a sense of self to understand what you're talking about. So from now on, with good girl, good job, it's used only to mark her behavior. But at the same time, if let's say she's doing something she shouldn't, okay? Let's say she's going after something she shouldn't, okay? Good. I told the good girl, good girl. Because not only did she stop the behavior, she looked at me. Now, if she continued to look at the target, I'm not going to say good girl. Because she's thinking, I want to get that, and I'm rewarding, I'm giving her a verbal reward. So watch how you use good girl. Just like if somebody comes to the house and say, it's okay, good girl, it's okay. Don't do that anymore when she's barking at people. That's the way I would train guard dogs, encourage the dog to bark. There's to be no barking because it's rude for her to bark once you open that door, unless somebody's coming at you with a knife or something. So, no, 1,000%, no barking. So people, you know, sometimes they cut the dog slack, so well, the dog's being protective about that. No, she's not. She's being neurotic and possessive, not protective. There's a difference. It's like if he would start threatening people you invite over from the office, you know, you wouldn't accept that. Good girl. Good. Now, because she's a sensitive dog, theoretically she should be easy to train. Insensitive dogs are very hard to train. Because there's, you know, how can you get to the dog? You gotta, you know, you just can't. And I've seen dogs that are like that. They're really bad to work with. Okay, so now, so she doesn't need positive reinforcement from immediately existing. Cut it out. You need to get over your urge to do that all the time. You like it more than she does in a way. Okay, so we need to cut that out completely. She's not to sleep in the bed at all, because that's a good thing on creating separation anxiety and possessiveness. So no bed, even if you have to tie her to the foot of the bed. She's not on the bed. When you're reading, eating, watching television, she's not to be on that bed. Okay, never. It's got to be on the floor. Okay. Any questions on that?
I think I'm going to have a bigger issue with that. I mean, I know I will.
How?
I
Would
like
you like
I
sitting
like
on the
having
bed
her
with
in
her?
bed, yeah.
Okay, let's get her off the bed right now until things change. Then you start breaking some of the rules, and if you see she backslides, then you can't. But right now, it's got to be tough love. Doggy boot camp, tough love.
Okay.
We got to get this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The door. That's ridiculous. It's unneeded. And my concern is that biting somebody. That's I'm worried about. So you got to start setting the dog up and different things, and just correcting her and making sure clear she doesn't have to do that. We can also put her on downstay. Don't she's not to break the downstay when you're high-fiving, when you're watching the game and stuff like that. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you know, the average dog has won the $500 million lottery worth of praise and petting, so they're not going to respond as well as if it's sparingly. So just cut down. Let's treat her like she's a normal person instead of special. Because when you first got your dog as a puppy, you did not get a baby animal. Puppyhood and babyhood are not synonymous. A puppy is a prepubescent animal because by 1 year of age, she can get pregnant. There's no way you could. Okay? She's walking at 2 months of age. You're not. So the puppy is not a baby animal. The time she's supposed to learn right from wrong is when she's a puppy. Just like you're supposed to learn most of your manners and social behavior before you're 8 years old. So you learn most of your manners from 3 to 8 years of age. In the dog world, she learns most of her manners from 5 to 20 weeks or so. So by the time she starts getting her adult teeth, she's expected to know the score. By the time your kid starts getting his adult teeth, he's expected to be accountable. But people that draw the parallel, they just got this puppy, it's a baby animal. They let the dog be a puppy. Then when the dog is 6 months or 1 year, they start to train the dog, which is wrong. It's much easier to train a puppy because the dog doesn't know any better. Okay? Also, don't pet the dog when she demands it, because you're not a geisha girl. You wouldn't pet him if he demanded it. Okay? Don't pet the dog when she's in a bad state. So in a state you're not happy with, don't pet her when she's in that state. When you first come home, the dog gets less of a greeting than your husband gets or your parents would get if you lived at home. Okay, so just walk right in, put your stuff down, check, go to the bathroom, come out. She comes running up to you, sit. She's got to sit. Good girl. I'm glad to see you. Hope you had a better day than I did. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, now, from home, dogs are not very smart compared to people. The dog is roughly equivalent to a 3-year-old child that has well below average mentality and ADD. That's what the dog is at. So if you had food on the table, the dog would figure out that if I jump on the chair, I get the food. Even a squirrel can figure that. It doesn't take money brains. But so the dog can be doing that for a year, jumping on the chair, stealing food off your table. But if you move that chair 4 feet away, there is no way the dog is going to push the chair to the table, jump on the chair, and get the food. If your 3-year-old couldn't figure that out, you'd figure this kid's a little slow. Okay? So that's why we have to keep things simple. So she's confused because she thinks you're a dog. She assumes that you guys are dogs. But you're not giving her the right communication a high-ranking dog would. So she's treating you guys like your litter mates and everything. Okay? The baby, that's a puppy. That's obvious. She knows that and everything. So just make sure that she's not displaced. Okay? So a lot of times people chase the dog out of the room when they're nursing. Don't do that. But don't have the baby on the couch by himself and you're in the bathroom, baby's sleeping and she's in the room. We don't want to leave dog and baby alone together. Okay. Because the dogs like baby poop. They're very attracted to that. So the dog may smell, knock the baby off the couch, anything can happen. So don't leave them alone right now. And when the kid starts crawling, you got to watch out he's not violating her space. So what you need to start doing is you need to start doing obnoxious things to her that the baby would. Such as, leaning on her to get up, pulling on the ear like that, not so it's painful, but like that, grabbing at her skin like that, grabbing at her tail like that. So little things you need to do. Nice dog, you gotta go nice doggy, nice doggy, that the baby would do. So all this way won't come as a surprise. Okay? Any questions on that?
No, that's good help.
That's helpful.
Now, the dog pack is not a democracy. The leader of the pack is not elected, chosen, loved, or appointed. The leader is the leader because he or she is the more dominant, confident, and is quick to back it up. But it's subtle. You're more like a CEO or a general, not a drill sergeant, okay? And you have to pull rank on her in a lot of ways. One would be, of course, if the dog is in your way, we walk through the dog. She has to get out of your way. So this would be like an invisible force moving her out of the way. And we also use that as a way to correct the dog too. So let's say you're cooking, okay? You're cooking there, and you drop the chicken leg, okay? We go into the dog. Instead of yelling, let your body do the talking. Okay, that's important. Because that's how dogs communicate. It's all body language. They don't talk. That's the cartoons. They make some sounds, but we have a vocabulary of how many words?
A lot.
And depending on how many languages you speak to and you're reading and everything else. But her vocabulary, if we catalog the sounds we make, maybe a few dozen, that's about it. So we can never teach you to make more sounds. We can teach you the meaning of some sounds, but we can't teach you to make more. You can learn more sounds and so could you. You both can learn three more languages this year if you chose to. Okay. I think she's responding quite well.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing is that bed's very important, okay? Bed. Now, she doesn't necessarily have to stay there. She doesn't necessarily have to lie down in the bed. She just has to go to bed, that's all. And she has to stay in that bed until you release her. Whether it's 15 minutes, an hour, or a week. Not a week, that's unreasonable, but she's got to stay there. To release her from the bed, we step on the bed. That's clear, and we say, free, good girl, okay? So, bed's a good bed. Good. Stay there. So if she starts to move, go right to her. In order to get up, she's going to drop her head. Whenever the dog gets up from a sit, they drop their head down. So as soon as she drops the head down, that's when you step in. So you want to correct her for starting to do it rather than going through the whole motion. Now, random reinforcement is very powerful. Okay? There's a multi-trillion-dollar industry in this world that's built on random reinforcement. You know what it is? Multi-trillion-dollar. Gambling. It's gambling. Random reinforcement. People gamble because there's a chance of winning. Well, they think there's a chance. And the slot machines, they're going to pay out just to keep you playing them. If they don't pay out at all, nobody's going to play the machine, and the casino's going to go out of business. If they pay out all the time, they're going to go out of business too. So they just give you enough to keep you going. So with the dog, if we allow the behavior to get by once or twice, that's going to erase a lot of what you've done. Just like if you're trying to give up alcohol, drugs, pizza, whatever, we can't just smoke on weekends or drink or whatever. It's got to be 100%. That's why residential rehab is successful, because the people are away from substances and they're away from the targeted places. They clean for 30 days, they come out, it's a lot easier to stay away from it than just trying it cold turkey. So we gotta watch that with her, okay? I think she's done pretty good.
She's doing great.
That's good. But you gotta be more demanding. She gotta see you as a first class, you know what. That's it, you know. And you gotta start making demands on her. This is what I want you to do. And she'll follow that, but it's good practice for when you wait till your boy starts walking around. This is nothing. Boys are rough, they are. Although girls are rougher in a different way once they get older. But okay, so I'm gonna release her. And go up to step on the bed and come free. Good girl. Very good. Okay, play. Do not play litter mate games, because she sees you as a litter mate, okay? Don't play chase, wrestle, roughhouse, tug of war, keep away games. These are games dogs play with each other. Any game we play should be task-oriented rather than competitive. That's where fetch comes in. Okay? How many fetches is she good for?
20.
Okay, good. Work up to 3 dozen.
I mean, they're far.
Huh?
I have like a round ball that's this big, like a tennis ball, and I throw it real far.
Good. Okay.
I think 3 dozen is no problem. This dog will go
Yeah.
all day.
And just work up to that. So I always when people say my dog will only retrieve 7 times, it's okay, stop at 5. And get the dog wanting more, eventually work up. So if I were going to teach a dog to sniff drugs, okay? In fact, one time I had a client, he was a policeman. He was worried that his kid was hanging out with the wrong crowd and smoking pot. And he didn't want the embarrassment of his kid getting busted. So he wanted to catch the kid. So I told him, okay, get some pot from the station house. And his dog was a very ball-obsessed dog, so this was the right, I think it was a golden retriever, something like that. It was the right dog. And this was in Virginia, it was in Fairfax County. And so I took the ball, I cut the ball open, we put the pot in the ball, and we taped it. We started playing with the dog. We always stopped before the dog wanted to stop. Just a couple of minutes, a few times a day, a couple of minutes here, there, now and then. Dog was going crazy for that ball, going nuts. Then he would have somebody hide the ball, okay, after about a week or so. He'd say, find it, dog come in, smells the ball, gets all excited, the dog gets the ball. Once the dog was finding the ball, then he would just hide the pot somewhere. Okay? Dog comes in the room, smells the weed, gets all crazy, he gets the ball. So the drug dog is not looking for drugs, he's looking for the ball. That's the connection. Ball drugs, cadaver dogs, you use freeze-dried human tissue or bone fragments. Bomb dogs, a little different because we don't want the dogs disturbing the spot the bomb is in. So that's harder to teach the dog. Okay? So the only game that poor dog gets to play is with that substance ball. That's it, no other game. He's not allowed to take the ball back to the kennel because it's not going to become a high-value item. Okay? They take the ball away from the dog and then they lock it up. So the only time he gets to play is with the ball. And the ball always has drugs in it. When he's found drugs, and it's always got drugs in it. Okay? If they're on the job and the dog's not finding any drugs because there aren't any, like 9/11 when they couldn't find any bodies, they have to hide fragments here and there, now and then, to keep the dog going. Okay? So any questions on fetch?
What happened with the cop and his son?
He caught his kid.
He did.
Yes, it was in his bag. He gave him hell, that's it. He says, I'm going to arrest you myself. So, good dog, very good. You're doing good, kid. We're very proud of you, yes. We're very proud of you. Okay, on the walks, you're in charge of the walks. She has to walk next to you. She has to walk with this part of her body, even with your left hip. Okay? Do you have a stroller? What kind of stroller do you have? Do you got like with the 2 handles, the looks like a cane, or a straight bar in between?
Straight bar.
Okay, good. So the first rule is you want to get really adept with that brake. So anytime there's something's amiss and you got to stop, hit the brake first in the stroller, then correct. You can let go of the stroller and correct the dog.
Okay.
Hit the brake and correct the dog.
Yeah.
Okay. But the dog has to learn to walk on a loose leash. You have to get the dog to the point that if you did this, the dog wouldn't pull the leash off your body. And you can practice that too by just, come here. Here, kid, come here. Sit. Good girl, you should still square than that. Okay, stay. So you can practice walking her. Let's go, kid. And just give the leash a little chop like that so she learns to walk on a loose leash. It's better for you. Good girl. Okay. Eating, do not share your food with the dog. That's important. No pizza crusts, chicken ends, all that stuff. It's best not to. Holiday times, you can cheat and mix a little stuff in her food. But begging's awful. If you guys are sitting at the table, does she beg? Does she stare at you?
Yes.
Okay, down.
Not, I mean,
Good.
It's
Okay,
not-
she's
it's
in
not
a down
uniform.
stay. So we put the dog here next to our chair, and we eat, and she's got to lie down. She wants to be on the table, lie down, or you can send her to bed if she's really obnoxious. But you got to tell your relatives not to feed the dog. Okay?
It's me. And we actually do a lot of eating here.
Okay, that's cool.
So we can just do the downstay.
Yeah, downstay.
Okay.
And just don't talk, you don't say what a good girl you are. Just ignore her, she's got to be in the downstay. So if I want to sit here and munch on my doggy treats, okay? I mean, you can't get any, okay? So the downstay is an important exercise. All my clients, when I see them, you know, sometimes I get lucky, the people get lucky, is they call me, they say, I just got this puppy, I want to start fresh, and I don't want to make any mistakes. Good. First thing I start teaching that puppy is to sit and to down and to come. Right away, just using treats. But we fade out the treats. I have no problem with treats, but you got to learn how to fade them out. So if I'm training a dog with treats, I'll fade the treats out within, I'll start fading them out after 9 days. And otherwise the dog becomes too dependent on treats. And working dogs aren't trained for treats because they'd be too distracted by lunches blowing up or whatever. Do you have any questions so far?
On the food thing, the sharing on the food.
Yeah.
So like I do a lot of cooking and sometimes like I teach cooking.
Okay, good.
So she does like, I'm big on not wanting to waste anything. There are lots of like ends and stuff of vegetables that like what I tend to do or try to do is when I'm done and whatever, I will give them to her, but I'll put them in her bowl.
Right, but so instead, but that gets her begging and waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're better off just putting the ends in the refrigerator, and when it's dinner time come, just make some in. Okay, that's you're better off.
Okay.
It's like, you know, you're eating and you clean up your plate. We don't want to do that.
Okay.
Okay, that's important.
That's fine.
Your tone of voice, this is important too. We don't want to speak to the dog with the voice inflection we do for a 2-year-old. Okay, you want to speak to it with the same voice inflection you would with a high school kid. And women are usually guilty about that. They'll talk as high-pitched, cooey, baby talk, little girl tone of voice. Don't do that. Because she thinks you're whining. Okay? Distressed dogs whine. Kids whine. Employees whine. Recruits whine. Sergeants never ever whine. Gym teachers don't whine. Neither do your parents or the boss. Who whines is subordinates. Why are they whining? They're stressed, they're unhappy. So let's not throw that sound out. It's like if you got on a plane going to, I don't know, somewhere, and you heard the voice of a 5-year-old girl saying, this is your captain speaking, we hope you have a plane. You don't want to go on that plane. You're going to get off the plane.
But what about the, will it impact her negatively to hear us talking to our child like that?
No, it won't.
But maybe we shouldn't talk.
Well, it's a baby. You're going to cushy. You're going to do all that stuff. You're going to do everybody does it with babies. You're going to get silly. You're going to go all kinds of things. Now, don't worry about it. She's got to live with it. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But this is going to, once you start walking now, she's probably going to start getting better now. Once you start, as soon as you get some decent weather. Right now, he's 2.5 weeks. You don't want to get him up. Plus, when it's flu season, really be careful.
Yeah.
That's, they're not going to crowded elevator. That's for sure. So how is she acting now? Is she acting normal?
No.
Considering there's food in the area and everything else, what would she be doing?
If we were sitting here eating dinner, she would be like, not necessarily going after the food, but just like coming up and really, like, she knows also, like, I think we taught her when she was very young, that when we're on the floor, that's play.
Okay.
And when we're up, that's not play.
Okay.
And when we eat here, I eat on the floor, like, I mean, because I'm at the head of the table. So she comes, like, in.
Don't allow to make body contact. Give her a bump. She can lie down. You want to hang out? You lie down, or you can go to your bed. You can work a bed, stay there too. She's not to get up and stare. She's not to nudge you or touch you.
Yeah.
That's out.
And that's I think is more her normal state. this is a great steak. This is what I'd like to.
Yeah,
She
I'd say
knows.
that that's.
She
what
knows the
would
dog
be.
treats are there too, you know?
Yeah.
And this is stuff that I've been giving her, okay? She knows they're there. So just push it. See, the more demanding you are, like in the military, every army puts their recruits through lots of heavy drilling. The reason for that is to mold them into what they want. So when they're in the stress of combat, they're gonna follow orders real fast right away. You know, you see Private Ryan, those movies where they move around and orders fire right away. So she has to start getting that. You gotta start giving her orders. It can't be just just hanging out. Okay. So all you gotta do is be more demanding on her. It's gonna work. Looks like she's about to cry. She, man, why ain't I getting these?
I mean, that's what she wants.
Oh, I know. No, I know that. She doesn't care if you exist anymore now. That's it. You guys are out of the picture. I'm the Mac Daddy here. Okay. Don't talk so much to the dog, because dogs don't talk. They only talk in the cartoons and the movies. They don't talk in real life, because all she hears is babbling. It's like if I said to you, "Stasera, que está para manjar?" If you don't know the language, you'll say, huh? So if I keep speaking that language, you're just going to tune me out. So don't ask her, did you like that? She doesn't know what like means. Okay? Don't say, do you want to go out? You want to go for a walk? Don't do that. Say, let's go out. Okay? Because when you ask a question, you don't sound very positive to begin with. Do you want to eat? Do you want to drink? Stop all that. Of course she wants to eat and drink. It's a dumb question to ask. It's like me saying, would you like $200 cash? No strings attached? You know, of course she wants to eat. So let's say, here's your food. Go eat. Okay? Hey, sit.
All right, I need to
Down.
digest that one a little bit. We're guilty of that. I don't think we otherwise talk to her that much.
Well, no, the reason why I want you to less of that is so she's going to zero in on the commands better. So only say something that she's going to key in on, and you're going to get a reaction from. Then the discipline, the praise, all that stuff will have a better impact. That's what I'm saying. So if we cut out the babble, it's going to be good. Yeah, we're all going to say something occasionally, okay? But let's try to cut down on it.
Okay.
Okay? And she'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be doing real good. And don't scream when she's bad, because when you scream, you're yipping. You don't sound like an angry dog. When a dog is mad, a dog growls. Well, like a teacher, the teacher would say, you, put that away or I confiscate it right now. Okay? So that's a growl, that edge in your voice. Okay? Any questions? Okay, good. Now, I need you to reformat her on her commands, because she's not right on the money like she should. She's not bad, though. She's better than a lot of dogs I've seen on her commands. But let's just wipe it. Let's reinstall the program, okay? It always works better if we reinstall the program. So, at the beginning, what we want to do is you want to start using visual commands, okay? Good girl when she does it, and then she gets the treat. Okay, so there's 4 exercises. I'm going to want you to work on her. You have her sit. You just lure her. You lure her to the ground. We have her sit again, and then we have her come up to you. Okay, so that's 4 movements. That's 1 set. We do 10 reps. Okay, we do 3 sessions a day. Make sure you don't even think about it. Make sure you do back at the door here. She can do a session parallel to this little table you have.
Okay.
You do your reps there, okay? You do one here, you do one in the bedroom. You can even start working around the hallway too if you can. It only takes about 5 minutes. And we also do it randomly too, where we walk up to the dog, from just out of the blue, we direct the dog to the ground. Good. And she gets the treat. So we just stick with it visual right now, okay? And we got to remember that as soon as she does it, good girl, then the treat. Don't go good girl. There's got to be a little beat there, okay? She goes to the ground. Good girl. She gets a treat, okay? We lure her up. You know, good.